Okay, tonight I'm going to show you how to wire up a basic circuitry on a Black & Decker Firestorm reciprocating saw. This particular unit is produced or manufactured in 2004, which had a variable speed control on the reciprocating saw. I've already got the unit taken apart to show you how to do this. I don't have the replacement switch right now because I haven't went and got it yet, but I'll run through it and show it to you. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me. To start with, as you can see, the switch is already loose on the unit. This is your actual battery port for your 18-volt lithium-ion battery. Okay, this is your trigger switch. Now, because this one has variable speed control, it has more than two colors of wires. And I'll run through these real quick. You got a black wire, which is your ground wire coming off your battery port. You got the red wire, which is your hot wire coming off the charging port. Okay. The red one runs into the top of the unit there, as you can see. Okay. On the other side, you got a black wire coming. Let me find it. I think that's a black wire. Let me make sure on this model, because each one is actually a little different. Let me see. Here, and I'll go through it with you. Okay. Actually, believe it or not, on this one, which I done one the other day, has a... Oh, yeah, that one's a black wire. The black wire runs to the black wire here runs down to the... Okay, yeah. See, you got your black wire right here. Okay, that runs to the back side of your switch, just like I thought. It had me messed up because I popped the wire out of there. And as you can see, it goes in that switch right there, which okay, it's not, that one actually popped out fairly easy, believe it or not. And that's a black wire, as you can see. Just a little bit of copper on the end of it. It isn't too bad. Okay. Now, that's your ground wire. Then you got your red wire right here. Runs over to the bottom of the unit. It's tied in. It's tied in to the switch control right there on the back side of the unit. Now you got a power wire that's running in the bottom of your switch right there. Then you got a black wire that's running into the bottom of your switch. Similar to that's the ground switch, the ground setup. Okay. Over here on the top of the motor, you got a black wire, yellow wire, and a blue wire. The main wires you want to worry about on this is the black and the red. If you're putting a non-variable speed switch in, the yellow and the blue is for variable speed control. And this power on feature on this. Now, if you get one that has the power on feature where you can hold the trigger down with another with that secondary switch that comes down, on this one you'll actually need the blue wire. I do believe they sell one that has that on there with a slide lock feature. You still can get those. You can get the variable speed control portion if you buy it aftermarket. I haven't found one. If there is, I haven't seen it, but don't mean there's not one. But this is a video of how to wire a non-variable speed control in. So, in order to wire non-variable speed control, you're going to just need to hook your black wire and your red wire to the new switch. You have to use probably more than likely butt connectors. Okay, I recommend using solder-filled butt connectors. You can buy those at any parts store, auto parts place. I even think Home Depot and Lowe's sell them. So, if you don't use butt connectors, you can use other insulated connectors. Now, I don't recommend using the metal connectors that don't have the open, non-insulated ends, because you don't want wires touching on these units. especially running DC voltage, you will fry a battery quicker than crap if you get hot wire grounded out to a ground wire. That will burn a battery up quicker than anything, and liable to cause fire, damage to unit, and damage to yourself. So, and possibly explosion of a battery. So, you definitely want to make sure your wires are insulated when you reconnect a new switch. Okay, when you run the wire, when you cut them wires, I would always recommend cutting them closest to the bottom of the unit as possible, to the bottom of the switch there. You cut them. Now, I'm probably end up pulling these out. If you can get them out, I recommend just pulling them out. It'll make it easier in the long run putting them back together. Which you've seen, I just pulled that black wire out and didn't even try to, really, to be honest with you. And it's still connected and got good copper on it. So when you disconnect the yellow wire and the blue wire, if you don't reuse them two wires, cap those wires off with the proper size wire nut for the wiring. Like I said, I believe this is, I'm thinking this is 18 gauge wire, between 18 and 20 gauge. So I'd get a cap for that size wiring and just cap them off, and that way you don't have no funny shorts in your unit. So now I'm going to show you a rigid model real quick. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about the rigid, but because there's nothing really wrong with this rigid, but besides I don't have a charger for it. But anyhow, this is the rigid. This actually has a 2-wire non-variable speed control switch built into it. Okay, or built for this model. As you can see, you got a black and a red wire, black and red. Now, if you were, this would be like a sort of like a switch you would put in that one for non-variable speed control. Okay, you would take and connect your black to black and red to red. This is pretty simple. It's not a whole lot to it. Same process. Take and connect your wires with butt connectors, and if you like, you use heat shrink wrap on wrapping them after you got the butt connectors on and crimped and everything. And if you use solder fill, you'll have to heat the connectors up, but that's how you do that. I'll go into that later. But on this unit here, you got screw holes here, here, here. There's one run across, two there. There's one over here. There's one on that side, and one over here, one there, one in the trigger. That's how you do that. On the rigid model, go back to this one more time, just so you know, there's seven screws in these that are star bit. I didn't look at the size. I just grabbed the one I needed for the job, so I couldn't tell you what size star bit that is, but that's a star screwdriver bit. You got 7 screws that go in the unit that require the star bit. Then you got 2 screws here that go in your motor and the cover and go into the motor housing. They actually require the Phillips head screwdriver. Now, to put this one back together, I showed you where the screw holes are. This one actually only takes a Phillips screwdriver. They kept it simple with this one, rigid, top of the line manufacturer of anything, so they're going to make it harder to get into their products. Black & Decker is made by, believe it or not, it's made by Stanley, which Stanley now has bought the Craftsman line, so you'll start seeing a lot of more Craftsman tools being sold at Walmart. Because they do, Stanley makes, believe it or not, Stanley makes DeWalt, Black & Decker, Stanley, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Bosch, or Bostitch, whatever you want to call it, and Bostitch. And I think they even make Ryobi, but I can't be quoted on Ryobi. But they're going to be carrying they bought the Craftsman line of tools from Sears, so they'll be carrying Stanley will be the manufacturer of Craftsman now. What I understand, they're keeping the warranty on their all Craftsman's hand tools. From what I've understand, I haven't heard any different. I know that they bought them for like $90 million or something. So if you happen to see Craftsman in Walmart, don't trip out. It's just that Stanley Black & Decker has bought them, and now they're offering it to the Walmart line, which will make the Craftsman hand tools go down to next to nothing. But hey, instead of paying $300 for a 300-piece socket set, you'll be paying $100 for one. But hey, it is what it is. So but that's how you wire up those units. If you got any questions, you're more than welcome to leave a question or a comment in the comment section. You can subscribe to my page. I have no problem with that. And then, as in all my videos, I don't assume any responsibility for any workbench tinkering. So this is just redneck science to me. And that I'm mechanically and electrically inclined because I'm an electrician by trade. So if it comes to wiring something, I can wire it. So, but like I said, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my page or leave a comment or question. If I have an answer, I can answer you. If not, I'll tell you I can't answer it. So, hope y'all have a great night, and I'll posting more videos as they go along. I always working on something, so I'm not too shy of tinkering around out here. Keeps me away from the old lady, if you know what I'm saying. So at least when she's mad at me. So anyhow, y'all have a great night. Thanks.